Hello once again everyone, Original Blood Ace here. Finally remembered the other video I wish to discuss, do my thoughts on. This isn't a new game by any means, it's been out for quite some time. Back on the Wii, in fact, Metroid Other M. So I just wanted to do a quick discussion, quick thoughts on my thoughts on the game. Most people, these supposed hardcore Metroid fans, disliked Metroid Other M for a few reasons. Whether it was from, oh, it was not first person like the Prime games, or the more common reason, the way Samus acted in the game, or even her voice actor. There were people who were complaining about that. So I'm going to break it down into those three topics, and I'll talk about each one individually. First, starting off with my opinion on it not being first person like the Primes. So, I'm going to say right off the bat, of course the Metroid Prime games were better than Metroid Other M. That being said, I did not have an issue with it being side-scroller. Now, people that know me know I'm actually not a fan of the old Metroid, the original style of how it was always a side-scroller. I've played most of them, not all of them, but most of those old Metroid games, and I'm just not a big fan of Metroid being a side-scroller. I think the Prime series is the epitome of what Metroid should be. Like, that is the focus it should be, and I think it's played the best when it's made as a first-person adventure with first-person shooter aspects in it. Now, the next topic I'm going to discuss here is the voice actor for Samus. Most people, no, actually not even most, the people who did complain about it though, they were just like, they should have hired someone better, more talented. Again, I didn't really have much of an issue with it. I mean, yeah, I'm going to say there could have been better choices. I can't think of any because I don't really know that many off the top of my head. But I'm sure if Nintendo tried to, they could have found someone who did a better voice. But like I said, not a huge deal to me. Now the third and the final area to talk about here is the biggest issue most people had, which was the story. Now, I don't know if you've played the game. If you haven't, I'll try to keep this without spoilers. Any major spoilers, that is. If you haven't played it, I would recommend that you play it. I know you might be a little put off by reviews and whatnot, people bashing it, but if you care about what I say, and if you don't, I don't really care. I'm just saying if you did care what I say, I think it would be worth playing the game. But anyway, most people's complaints about the story was their issues were Samus showing emotion and kinda being a bit of a pushover, and having to take orders from Adam, who's a character in Metroid Other M, who you learn about later on being her former commander when she was in the Space Marines, before being a bounty hunter. Now, again, this like the other two topics, I personally didn't have a big issue with this. I did kind of dislike coming from Prime games where as you progressed you got a new item and then you could use it, but in Metroid Other M you start off with every single item, but you can't use it until you're allowed to use it. That I would have liked to have that have been changed a bit, but it's not a huge deal to me. So if you have everything, Samus should be able to use it whenever you want, instead of having to wait for a certain boss or an enemy where Adam gives you permission to use ice missiles or super missiles or whatever. But most people were complaining about Samus showing emotion and having to take orders and not just doing her own thing anymore. For me, this is a good thing. Samus proves that she's not like Master Chief from Halo, who's a silent, supposed badass, in quotation marks there, who is just a person who goes destroying things without talking. That's a bland, boring, generic character, and I don't care for it. When it was in the Prime games, it was fine, because she was on her own, so she didn't have to be, all that talkative or anything. But this game is all about her past, her link with Adam, and all the her fellow friends from back at the Space Marines. Now, I totally lost my train of thought there. Um, let's see, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, the beginning of the game, where you show up at the target area. I forget what it was called, and you're exploring the baby's cry, whatever, and then you come across Adam and the Space Marines, and they have their weapons pointed at you, and then you end up being invited with them to go and explore and investigate the situation. Now, right here is a prime example of why people didn't like Samus's actions. If you think about it, though, she really didn't have much of a choice. She's a free roam bounty hunter. She does play by her own rules, but if she was to, like, her choices were either to obey the Space Marines and Adam, because they were there on official business, so she wasn't part of their team anymore, therefore she has no say or anything over what they do. Otherwise she'd be treated as a criminal, basically. So she could have just turned around and left. She could have stayed and obeyed, or if she tried to forcibly say, you know, like, screw you guys, I'm doing my own thing, then she would have been classified as a threat, and they would have had to fight her. Now, Samus isn't the type that wants to fight the humans, because especially that they're her friends, most of them. So, I think it's, like I said, it doesn't bother me tremendously that she showed emotions and that she proved that she's a human at heart. Like, she has compassion. Maybe at some point she overdid it a bit, or Team Ninja did the character over a bit. Little push the envelope too far there, but overall, I really didn't have an issue. My biggest issue, which isn't even that big of a thing in the first place, was when you fight Mother at the end of the game, and all it takes is a simple click, one single shot fired towards her to initiate the cutscene. Like, you didn't even do like a fight. Of course, that's technically not the final boss of the game, but either way, that's basically my thoughts on Metroid Other M. I don't think it deserved all the hatred it got. Yes, the Prime games were better. You can't argue that. But by no means, in my opinion, was Metroid Other M a terrible Metroid game. Now, I decided to do this video because one of the guys commented on one of my videos talking about why Nintendo won't outsource their IPs to people because of Team Ninja screwing up Metroid Other M. So I disagree. I don't think Metroid Other M was a screw up. It definitely, like a lot of games, it definitely had room for improvements, like little tweaks here and there. Small changes here and there would have benefited the game. But for me, there was nothing like game breaking about it. There was nothing that was like, oh, this game just sucks, like a lot of people said. If I had to rate the game out of a 10, I'd probably give it, well, let's see, I give Metroid Prime 1 a solid 8 out of 10. Metroid Prime 2, I give an 8.5. Actually, screw that, I give a 9 out of 10 for Metroid Prime 2, and then an 8.5 for Metroid Prime 3. Metroid Other M, I'd give probably about a 7.5. So it was pretty good. It's definitely worth a playthrough if you haven't played it. So other than that, I guess that's all I need to say. I've babbled on long enough. So as always, this is Original Blood Ace. Stay tuned. More videos coming soon.